New York City Mayor Eric Adams is in the news for refusing to release his tax returns. Well, not exactly refusing, but saying he won't be releasing them anytime soon, despite the fact that mayors of the Big Apple have been making their financial records public for decades. Can you think of another politician from New York whose name is synonymous with all but refusing to release tax returns? You know, at some undetermined point in the future that never ever comes? That's right, I'm talking about that boy from Queens turned GOP cult leader, Donald Trump. And surprisingly, financial secrecy isn't the only trait that Eric Adams shares with the twice-impeached former Republican president of the United States. In fact, the new mayor is a lot more Trumpy than you might think. Remember when then-President Trump downplayed the coronavirus for months before he contracted COVID himself, didn't tell anybody, and reportedly exposed others at the presidential debate with Joe Biden? Well, Mayor Adams began the year telling New Yorkers to stop wallowing in COVID misery and claimed New York would defeat the virus with swagger. Yes, swagger. And then earlier this month got exposed to COVID at the Gridiron Dinner, still went maskless to an event with disabled people days later, and then tested positive for the virus himself. I guess that's swagger. Then Adams contemplated breaking quarantine and exposing colleagues in order to announce the Brooklyn shooter's arrest in person before he reconsidered.
New Yorkers, we got him. We got him.
Nothing more Trumpy than loudly claiming your share of the glory for the arrest of a terrorism suspect who authorities have been criticized for allowing to get away in the first place. Then there is Adams' apparent enthusiasm for theatrical authoritarianism. Remember how President Trump cruelly tear-gassed peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters in order to clear Lafayette Square so he could pose for a photo op with a Bible? Well, Mayor Adams' clearing of more than 230 homeless encampments so far, an average of at least 2 a day, is a similar type of cruel theatre, many would argue, meant to signify a crackdown on crime for the tourists without really accomplishing one. Adams said the encampments were inhumane and said the people there would be placed in healthy living conditions with wraparound services. By the way, speaking of theatre, the former president could never pass up the chance for some good old-fashioned pretend play, acting like a child with the world's largest Hess truck when long-haul truckers visited the White House. Turns out Adams has that same instinct, asking to slide down the fireman's pole while visiting the firehouse. Whee! Both men also like to hold court with some shady characters at their respective clubhouses. Trump golfs with wealthy political donors and con men at Mar-a-Lago, while Adams, a.k.a. the nightlife mayor to some, frequents Big Apple hotspots where he hobnobs with businessmen and celebrities, including the man who famously introduced Trump to third wife Melania. There's also the night he was partying with the current owner of the Plaza Hotel, Qatar's Ali bin Ahmed Al Kuwari. And while social climbing seems to be their favorite sport, both Adams and Trump appear to have developed a similar style for condescending the, commoners. Nothing says out of touch quite like that classic video of the Donald tossing paper towels at hurricane victims in Puerto Rico. And Mayor Adams' comments about low-skilled workers are certainly in a similar orbit.
My low-skilled workers, my cooks, my dishwashers, my messengers, my shoe shine people, those who work in Dunkin' Donuts, they don't have the academic skills to sit in a corner office. They need this. We are in this together.
Adams actually has quite a few strange Trumpian gaffes, out-of-left-field comments about how people would not be able to tell the difference between someone hooked on heroin and someone hooked on cheese, or waving around life-giving cucumbers.
That food has life. Do me a favor, hand me that cucumber for a moment so people can see. This is life. And when you give food like this out, Mercy Center, you are saying to the people of this community, we love you and we respect you. You deserve what they have downtown. They're not giving canned meat on the Upper East Side. They have some of the best food. So why can't you have some of the best food?
And remember how Trump tried to cash in on his image as a New York wheeler dealer while mostly living in Florida? Well, Adams' Brooklyn credibility was certainly questioned after reports surfaced during the campaign that he actually lived in New Jersey.
Frontrunner Eric Adams coming under fire after accusations that he doesn't actually live in the city he wants to govern. Today, he invited reporters into his home in Brooklyn with tears in his eyes, too. And he said those accusations are completely false.
Adams offered reporters coffee, donuts, and a tour of this basement Bed-Stuy apartment he claims is home.
This little humble place.
Adams insists he stays here when he's not sleeping overnight at Brooklyn Borough Hall, the government building where he serves as borough president.
Now, to be clear, Mayor Adams is certainly Trumpy, but he's not Trump. He's not a promoter of white supremacy who incited an insurrection and pardoned war criminals. Unlike the Donald, he actually is a self-made man, a former decorated police officer. That being said, he's going to be a source of dodgy Trump-style news stories and scandals for years to come. Did America's biggest city, one of its bluest cities, really have to go with Adams? Come on, New Yorkers, you could have had a progressive, a woman of color even. But you went with the guy who seems to compare cheese to heroin.